Hey everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Paula. In today's video, I am sharing with you my cozy fall favorites. As you know, my sisters and I love a good favorites video, so this is my fall edition. So if you're looking forward to hearing about all the things that I'm enjoying this autumn, then stick around and let's get started. Well, I want to start off this video by sharing some friend mail that I received from some lovely friends and subscribers. First, I received an email from viewer Vonda, who had some books that she thought I would be interested in. They were books about books, and she was looking to pass them along to me, and I said I would be delighted to get them. There are three of them. The first one is A Passion for Books by Terry W. Glaspie. And this is just a small, slim book, and it's just little stories about books and the importance and the meaning of books in our lives. The first chapter is called A Love Affair with Books. And this author, I believe, talks about all of the ways books have enriched his life. The next one was Used and Rare, Travels in the Book World by Lawrence and Nancy Goldstone. Let me see if there's a blurb on the back. Most books about books are as stuffy and musty as a 400-year-old binding, but the Goldstones' prose is as sprightly and readable as the modern firsts they began to add to their collections. I read it in one sitting. Well, I love books about books, and I am very excited to read this, and I probably will read this in one sitting as well. And then finally, the last one is by Henry Petrosky, and it's The Book on the Bookshelf. I love the cover of this one. Isn't that fabulous? The back says, very engaging and wonderfully informative. It unfolds a history of invention, craftsmanship, engineering, manufacturing, and business that is also at times a history of cultural life on both sides of the Atlantic. No readers of this book will ever be able to pick up a pencil again without marveling. And I think this is actually a book about the making of books, not the writing of them, but the actual construction of books and the history of the construction of books. So I think this is going to be a fascinating read. So Vonda, thank you so much. That was just so thoughtful of you, and I will cherish these books, and I cannot wait to get started reading them. And then Lynn, another friend and subscriber, sent a little card in the mail. Oh, and by the way, Vonda sent a lovely card. I think I put it inside one of these books. There it is. A beautiful little card with a lovely note. And Lynn also sent an adorable card. I love the peanuts, and Woodstock is such a cute little thing. And her package even had these really adorable stickers on them. She sent me a beautiful handmade bookmark. Isn't this gorgeous? It says, "Reading is my thing." And then it has this little embroidered patch down here with a house on it. And she said that she belongs to a crafting group, and one of the ladies in her crafting group makes these beautiful bookmarks, and she thought I would enjoy this, and I do indeed. I will treasure this as well, and I will be using this as I get started reading those lovely books from Vonda. So thank you, Lynn, and thank you so much, Vonda. All right, now for my favorites. The first couple of favorites that I'm going to share with you are clothing items, and I'm wearing actually one of them. It is this gingham Peter Pan collared puff sleeve blouse. I actually ordered this off of Amazon, and I will link it below. And for me, Amazon clothing is generally hit or miss. You know, sometimes, I think more often than not, I end up sending things back, but I loved this shirt so much, I ordered it in two colors. So not only did I get the green gingham, but I got the blue gingham as well. And in fact, when I've worn these blouses in a video, several people have commented on them, and I absolutely love them. They're very comfortable. They're true to size. I'm wearing a small. I will get my daughter to film me standing up and modeling this, and I will insert some footage if I remember, and hopefully I will, of me wearing this. So you can see the full, you know, maybe actually I might be able to stand up and show you. I may not need to have Neve film me modeling it, but it's really, really cute. It has the Peter Pan collar and the little puff sleeves. As I said, very washed well. It didn't wrinkle. It's kind of wrinkly. It's not 100% cotton, but it's very, very comfortable. When I wear it to school, I don't feel like it's overly hot. I really, really like this. And as I said, I enjoyed it so much, I bought it in the blue as well. All right, the next article of clothing I'm going to share with you are some shoes that my mother got me for my birthday. And I actually was wearing these to school today. They are Dansko sandals. I actually brought the box with me so I could read you. There are the Rowan Waxy Burnished in the tan color. They are a little Mary Jane. I'll hold that up there. I will link these as well in the description box. But they are super comfortable. They have a cork footbed, a rubber bottom, so they're non-skid. They are a little Mary Jane, just darling, and they could not be more comfortable. And you know, I work in a school as a school counselor, and even though I do sit sometimes at my job, a lot of my work is done kind of on the run. And if you're a teacher or work in a school, you know you are on your feet a lot. And those are fabulous. I can wear them all day and come home and walk the dogs in them, and they're just as comfortable as they were when I put them on in the morning. So I really, really love these. I love Dansko shoes, and I have these with a wooden sole as well. But honestly, these cork bottom ones are so comfortable, and they're flat. They don't have much of a heel. They have just a little bit of a heel, but nothing dramatic at all. And so you can put these on and feel very comfortable walking around all day. All right, that's going to do it for clothing items, but there is one more accessory I want to share, and this was a birthday gift. So my birthday is in September, and my mom, when I was visiting her over the summer, she purchased this for me for my birthday. So I have kind of held it in reserve, and I just started using it. It is this beautiful canvas tote bag, and this is made from recycled military tents. Now I looked and looked and looked to see if I could find a label in here, and I could not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my mom to talk to the woman at the boutique where she got this and find out if it's, you know, what brand this is, because I could not find a marking on it anywhere. This is obviously stenciled on, but I love this bag. It does have a zipper on the top. It's actually full of my school books right now because I used it today. So you can see that the top does zip closed. It has these handles, and then it does come with a longer kind of crossbody strap. But for me, I'll just stand up and show you. For me, let me back up a little bit. These handles are the perfect length. This is just how I like to have my tote bag. So I absolutely love it. I love the brown color. I love the leather details here. Just adorable. And I love the fact that it's a recycled tent. So that is the last clothing or accessory item that I want to share with y'all. And like I said, if I can find a link for this, I will link it in the description box. And anything that I can link, I will link it in the video description box in case you are interested. The next category of favorites that I want to share with you have to do with stationery and cards, which, as you know, is just one of my favorite things. I love stationery, paper products, cards, etc. So let me go ahead and reach over here and grab what I need. Now, you all know my love affair with fresh cut paper flowers. So for my birthday, my sister Patty sent me this beautiful sunflower bouquet, and it is the fresh cut flowers, and you can see that it is three-dimensional. I absolutely love it, and I just put this out for decor. Isn't this beautiful? And not only did she send me this, but I had shown in a previous video, I had ordered myself a little tiny card. I love these full-size ones. However, they did have one other card that I ordered for the autumn season. It's actually really a Halloween thing. Hang on one second. And it is this fabulous haunted house. You can see in here, it might be hard for you to see, but this lifts up and you can peek in and see the inside of the house. You have the witch on her little broom here. There's an owl in the spooky tree, and then there's a bat on the top of the house. I just thought this was fabulous. So I treated myself to this, and this is what I will put out as part of my Halloween decor. So I'm a big fan of the fresh cut paper flowers. Let me put this over here. And actually, let me show you the back, because even the back is darling with the cemetery and the jack-o'-lanterns and the spooky trees with the big full moon. Just adorable. All right. Also for my birthday, my mom sent me these little tiny, I'm going to take one out because there probably will be a glare here. This is a little box of just tiny little note cards. Let me grab one. And these are just so adorable. So on one side, it has this adorable little teacup. And then on the other side, it has the teapot. And these are perfect if you want to write a little note, inside. I put a little note in my daughter's lunch on her first day of clinical for nursing school. If you want to tuck a little note on somebody's desk at school, just leave them a little bit of encouragement. They're just darling. I could think of a million uses for them. They can be gift tags. You could punch a hole in it and tie it to a gift. Just adorable. And the brand is Francis Paper, and efrancispaper.com is their website. It's 85 little notes. I just think that they are so cute. So thank you, Mom. This was a perfect little gift for me. And if I can find this again, I will link this down below. The next thing that I've been really enjoying this fall is my monthly planner. Now, because my whole career has been in schools. For me, the new year always begins in August. I know most people think of January as the new year, but my work life goes from August to June. So I always get a planner that starts in August. Now this one is a 2-year planner. I love it. I'm not sure. Let me see what the brand is. I will link it because I ordered this off of Amazon. I'm super picky about my date books and planners. This one, I'm going to open it up and you'll be able to see. You can see a month at a glance. And I really like that because it helps me to kind of plan out my whole month. I can see kind of what's coming up, what I have written in. I put in, the topics of my videos. I put in meetings that I have for school, appointments, that kind of thing. And the squares are big enough to write in. And then on the sides over here, there's a place where you can have kind of a to-do list. So I used to get planners that were just showed 1 week at a time, but I have found that I really like to be able to see a month at a glance. And I have used this planner for this brand of planners for probably at least 5 or 6 years. The first one I ever got was from my secret Santa at school, who happened to be the school principal. And he knows that I am a paper planner person. And so that was one of the gifts that he got me. And I loved it. And I have reordered this particular brand every year since then. So if you are as picky about planners as I am, you will love this one. It have beautiful patterns. It has the spiral binding so that you can fold it flat. This is a large size. It does come in a smaller size. I ordered a little bit of a smaller size for my daughter, probably like 2/3 this size. But for my old eyes and handwriting, I prefer a bigger one. So I just throw this in my book bag and off I go to school. All right, and then the last thing that I want to share with you that is in the kind of stationery, pens, pencils category is, are actually these really fabulous markers that were sent to me by a company called Ohuhu. And they're these alcohol markers, and they're all the rage. They're really fun, and they come in a million colors. Look at all of the colors that they come in. They're absolutely beautiful. And they have, like, you can take the top off, and they have a very fine point on this side, and then they have more of like a calligraphy point on the other side. So you can see there's the calligraphy side and there's the fine point side. I love that because sometimes, you know, you want to do some kind of fancy writing and sometimes you just need a fine point. So in addition to the markers, they also sent this bamboo case that the markers will fit in to keep them organized. So you can slide the markers in, and then the colors, you know, will be out like this. So you fill this whole thing. Now, I have not done that yet, but it's a fabulous way to store them on a desk, and then they're at the ready. I do also love the fact that they come in this really nice carrying case. I'm going to bring these to school so that my students can use them. I think that it's very relaxing. Uhuhu also sent some coloring books. How cute is this? This is Fuzzy Huga, and you can see adorable pictures inside. They sent that one, and then they sent this one that says Portraits of Joy, and inside are just girls' faces, and I know the girls at school will absolutely love to color these in and try to, you know, make them look like themselves. So it was just really such a nice thing, and these make a fantastic gift for anybody, you know, big or little in your life. Coloring has been shown to be extremely relaxing. That's one of the things that I do with my students at school when they're very stressed out. I'm a school counselor, so if they come down and they're anxious or upset, I will often hand them, you know, either a coloring sheet, a coloring book and crayons, or now I'll have these really cute little coloring books, and they will sit there and color. Excuse me, hang on one second. They will sit there and color, and it just really helps to kind of decompress them and bring their level of anxiety or emotion down. The same is true for adults. Coloring is just an incredibly relaxing thing to do. It gets you away from screen time. It's quiet, it's meditative. You can kind of just get lost in your own thoughts or just think nothing and create a beautiful little scene. So I do want to thank Ohuhu for sending these to me. I know that the students will love them. I got some for my daughter for Christmas last year, and she really enjoys them. So I'm very, very grateful to have those. So that is it for stationery and paper related items. All right, let's move on to the next category. Actually, before we move on, I do want to say that I will have the Ohuhu markers, the marker storage case, and the coloring books linked down below, and there will be a special discount code. If you use that link, you can get a discount, and the code and the coupon code and all of that will be in the description box below. And as I said, it would be a great Christmas gift for the artist in your life, or just somebody who enjoys coloring, big or small. So, all right. The next category of items is beauty, and I have two things to share. Both of these were birthday presents from the kids, and they are these perfume samplers. So my daughter Neve organized the whole thing, and what she said is they ordered these samplers and they thought that I could try out the different perfumes, and then if I found one that I really liked, that would make they could buy a full-size bottle of that as a Christmas present, because perfume is pricey and you don't really want to commit to something until you've had a chance to test it out and see how it smells on your own self. So the first one is Jo Malone. Now my mom loves the wood sage and sea salt perfume by Jo Malone, which I have to say is fabulous. I have only I've only sampled a couple of them, but I'm going to read you the scents. There's English pear and freesia, nectarine blossom and honey, English pear and sweet pea. Now I did try that one and that one smells fantastic. Peony and blush suede, mimosa and cardamom. That sounds like that would be a nice warm fall smell, doesn't it? The wood sage and sea salt, which I've tried my mom, so I know that smells divine. Scarlet poppy, I tried that as well, and that's a very floral one. It's really lovely. And then myrrh and tonka. So I have been really having a fun time trying these out. As I said, I've tried the English pear and sweet pea, which was delicious. And I've tried the wood sage and sea salt, and I've tried the scarlet poppy. And I did love all of them, but I do think that the English pear and sweet pea so far is my favorite. And then the next sampler is from Maison Margiela, and it's called Replica. And the scents are replications of basically events or places. It says reproduction of familiar scents and moments of varying locations and periods. So in this one, we have Jazz Club, Lazy Sunday Morning, Under the Lemon Trees. Now this is the only one from this box that I have tried, and it was fabulous. And I love anything lemon, so I loved it. By the Fireplace, Autumn Vibes, which I'll have to try next, Sailing Day, When the Rain Stops, Beach Walk. I actually have smelled Sailing Day before, and that is really a very fresh scent. I loved it. Beach Walk kind of smells like you're at the beach. It truly does. And then On a Date. Oh, actually, I did try On a Date, and that was also a beautiful floral scent. So these two samplers have been super fun this fall for me to kind of just every day try something different. And I text my daughter the scent that I'm trying and what I think of it, so that, because you know, after 50, the brain and the memory starts to go. So this is my way of remembering what I've tried and whether or not I liked it. So if you're looking for a new perfume or just want to add to your collection, getting a sampler pack is really a very cost-effective way to test out a bunch of different ones, so that when you do commit to the full size, you know if you like it. All right, moving on now. Next, I made a little list here, so I'm going to check my list because, again, you know, the memory. Okay, the next category of things I want to share with you are movies or TV programs and podcasts that I have been enjoying. So there are 3 different television shows. Now we don't actually have regular cable here. We do have Hulu and Netflix, and I think we have Amazon Prime TV just as part of our Amazon. But both of the shows that I'm going to share with you are on Hulu. The first one is Only Murders in the Building. Now, this is in season 5. We started watching this a few years ago, and it's fabulous. It stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. And they live in this big apartment building called the Arconia in New York City. And in the first season, they stumble upon a dead body, and they get involved in investigating and solving the murder. But there's such a quirky little cast of characters in this show. It's just classic Steve Martin and Martin Short comedy. And I have to say, I love Selena Gomez in this show. She just provides a great foil, a very serious foil to the comic antics of Steve Martin and Martin Short. And so we kind of got away from it. And so we're still on season 3, but season 4 or 5 is out now. So we've gone back and rewatched season 3, and now we're moving into season 4. And I absolutely love it. It's just such a quirky show. The intro is fantastic. I'll pop up a little picture over here or here of kind of a screenshot of the title of it, but it's It is called Only Murders in the Building. It's just wonderful. The other show that we have been watching is a show called High Potential, and that's also on Hulu. And it's on ABC, I think, on Tuesday nights, but it comes on at something like 10 o'clock. And let me tell you, this girl gets up at 4 a.m. every morning. So 10 o'clock, I am nowhere near up at 10 o'clock at night. I'm in bed by 8:30 and sometimes earlier if I'm really tired. So we watch it on Hulu on Wednesdays because it's on Tuesday nights. But the premise of this is that it stars a woman who she's a single mom of 3 kids, really kind of struggling. She was working for a cleaning company, and one of her assignments was the police station. I believe it takes place in Los Angeles, California. Anyway, she cleans this police station at night, and she's in there cleaning and doing her thing in the first season, and she stumbles on their like case board where they put up all the suspects and the clues and everything. It's on this big giant rolling, almost like a big giant bulletin board. And she knocks it down and the papers go all over, and then she starts picking the papers up. But it's called High Potential because it's originally based on a French show called High Intellectual Potential. And the woman who's the cleaning lady has an incredible IQ. Her IQ is something like 165 or 170. She's extremely smart. So when she's picking up all these papers that have fallen down, she basically starts to solve the case, and she sees where the police have made some mistakes. So she puts it all back up on the board in the correct order, and she changes around, the suspect is now the victim, and the victim is now a suspect. And anyway, she makes all these changes. So when the crew for the police station comes in the next day, all the investigators and detectives and so forth, they notice that this board has been all switched around, and they can't figure out, who's been messing with this. So they watch the security footage and they see her. Her name is Morgan. They see that she has done that. So they send a police car out and they bring her down to the station, and she's like, look, I was just fixing your mistakes. And so the police chief, who is a woman, has enough sense to say, hey, wait a minute, what mistakes did you see? And she goes on to explain them to her. And she decides that they're going to hire Morgan as a consultant to the department. And so it goes from there. And she gets involved in helping them solve cases. And her incredibly high IQ helps them solve cases. She just looks at the world in a different way. And it's a fantastic show. My mom is hooked on it. We're hooked on it. So if you're interested in something that's just really fun and just a smart show, it's High Potential on Hulu. And then I do want to share with you 2 podcasts that I have been enjoying. The first one is called The Labor of Hercule, and it is a podcast that is about the BBC Hercule Poirot mystery series starring David Suchet. And the 2 hosts of the podcast are absolute Hercule Poirot fans to the utmost. They're super fans. But they do such a fun job of kind of deconstructing every issue or every episode of that series, which ran for something like 10 or 12 years. And they talk about, all of what went into that series and what they liked about each episode, and how David Suchet, was the ultimate Hercule Poirot. It's just a fantastic podcast. If you're an Agatha Christie fan, or more specifically a Hercule Poirot fan, and especially the Hercule Poirot BBC series, you will love this podcast. It is called The Labor of Hercule. And then the last entertainment favorite that I have to recommend is another podcast, and it is called Meg's Reading Room. And Meg has a YouTube channel, I believe by the same title, Meg's Reading Room. And in it, she interviews authors and talks about books, and it's just lovely. She's a young mom with 2 little kids, and so this is just her way, I think, of enriching her life and ours by interviewing all of these authors and talking books. And in my mind, what could be more lovely than talking to authors about their books? So I highly recommend Meg's Reading Room, and you can check out her YouTube channel as well. All right, let me check my notes. Oh, there was one more show. I almost forgot. This is kind of a one-time deal, but we absolutely loved the Thursday Murder Club, which is a TV show. I think it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix show based on the Richard Osman book by the same title, The Thursday Murder Club. It was so fun. Now, it does actually stick fairly closely to the book. So if you haven't read the book and want to read it, I would say read the book first and then watch the show. If you've read the book, definitely watch the show. It's really fun. It's just fantastic. Helen Mirren is in it, and she is wonderful in it. I love her, and the clothes she wears are fabulous. It was, I think, maybe a little over an hour and a half, and it was just wonderful. We sat down and watched the whole thing and truly enjoyed it. And if you don't know the story, it is these retired folks who live in a retirement community in England, in this beautiful building. The building is gorgeous. They have these phenomenal apartments in this very luxury retirement community. And they basically get together on Thursdays, a few of them, and solve cold cases. They have a contact at the police station, or they had a contact at the police station who provided them with cold case files, and they go through and they attempt to solve these cold cases. Except that at one point, they actually get involved in solving a real murder. And it's just such a fun, the cast is wonderful. It's funny, it's poignant. I just loved it. And I think you will as well. And that is The Thursday Murder Club on Netflix. All right. And finally, what I want to share with you is are a couple of books that I have been enjoying this month. I have been quite busy, so my reading, I'm listening to Jane Eyre on audiobook, which I'm loving. I am also reading Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, but I'm only a little ways into that, and it's already, I'm hooked. It's fabulous. I didn't even bring my book out with me, but I checked it out of the library. And I've never read this. So if you have read it, you know what I'm in for. Everything I've read about the book is, is fabulous. I'll pop a picture of it up here on the screen since I forgot to bring it with me, but I'm only a little ways into that. The other books that I have read more of, and I'm almost finished with, are there are three of them that I wanted to share. The first one is one from the British Library Crime Classics, and I think I've shown this book before, but it is Murder by the Book, Mysteries for Bibliophiles. And it's a series of short stories that somehow involve books, libraries, or authors. And I have to say, I love it. I'm on my last one, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this book. I'll link it down below. The thing that I love about it is that it is short stories. And so I can read one right before I go to bed, or I can get up early in the morning with my cup of tea or coffee and read another one before I go to school. And they're just so much fun. I do tend to really love the British Library Crime Classics series. They're always really good. And there are a variety of authors in here. Nicholas Blake, Philip MacDonald, A.A. Milne wrote one. Yes, A.A. Milne of Winnie the Pooh fame. Gladys Mitchell, Michael Innes, Christiana Brand, Victor Canning, John Creasy, Edmund Crispin, Nio Marsh. So some really fabulous Golden Age crime type writers. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this. So Murder by the Book, Mysteries for Bibliophiles. And then because I'm listening to Jane Eyre and reading Rebecca, both of which are kind of gothic and heavy, I needed something kind of light and fluffy. So I found this at my library in the free books pile, and it's called Catch Me If You Candy by Ellie Alexander. And it is Double, Double, Toil and Truffle. Let me just read you the back. Halloween has arrived in picturesque Ashland, Oregon, and all of the ghouls and goblins have descended on Main Street for the annual parade. It's a giant street party, and Tort, which is a restaurant or pastry shop in the book, is right in the mix. Jules Capshaw and her team have been baking up autumn delights in trick-or-tort bags filled with sugar cookie cutouts, spiced cider, and mummy munch. It's the end of the season at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which means that costumes for the parade are going to be out of this world. The elaborate guises even extend to pets. The grand marshal of this year's parade is no one other than a regal pug aptly named King George. Jules is delighted to get to share the experience with Carlos and Ramiro, but things take a dark turn when she discovers a dragon slumped in front of the bake shop. So this is clearly just a real cozy mystery, and it's a great antidote to the heaviness and the kind of eeriness of the Gothic novels that I'm reading. So this was just a little bit of fun, cozy mystery goodness for me to kind of pick up and dip in and out of when I have a few free moments. And then the last thing that I want to share with you that I have been enjoying is something that I just received very recently. I bought this as a birthday present for myself, and I just received it in the mail very recently, and it is the Country Commonplace book by Miranda Mills. Now, Miranda Mills has a YouTube channel by the name Miranda Mills, and she's fabulous. She is just delightful. She and her mom talk all about books. She has a blog, I think, and a Substack. She has a podcast where she interviews authors, and she has just a delightful YouTube channel. I will link her channel down below. Now, I had never heard of commonplace books or commonplacing, but it is really just like a gathering up of seasonal quotes, recipes, and inspiration that she has put into this beautiful book. Look at the end papers in there, absolutely gorgeous. It is published by Batsford Press, and it's organized seasonally. So if we turn to autumn on page 128, here's the gorgeous autumn cover sheet. I love this. It's almost like a wood carving, just beautiful. And then she's got poetry, she has quotations, she has recipes. I happen to see she has a section called Books to Read Under an Apple Tree, Something Told the Wild Geese, which is a poem by Rachel Field. She's got all kinds of wonderful seasonal inspiration, and it's bound up in this beautiful book. And this is her first book, and it's so exciting for her. She, as I said, she's just delightful, and she does a lot with her mom, and they are just could not be cuter together. It reminds me, her relationship with her mother reminds me of my relationship with my mother. It's just so wonderful. So I cannot recommend more highly the Country Commonplace book by Miranda Mills. And again, I will link this down below in the description box. It is absolutely delightful and just such a fun seasonal reading inspiration to have on your bedside table. All right, well, I do think that that does it for my autumn favorites. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some inspiration for different things that you might be interested in trying out or checking out. As I said, I'll leave as many links to things in the description box as I can. I want to say thank you again to Miss Vonda and Miss Lynn for the lovely friend mail that I received. That was so generous and kind of you. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Is there anything that you are enjoying this autumn? I'd love to know. I'm always up for recommendations. I love a favorites video. If you've made it this far in the video and you don't want to leave a comment, but you want to let me know that you are here, go ahead and leave a fall leaf emoji in the description, in the comments section. That really does help out our channel. Is the thumbs up, the sharing, the comments, watching our channel really does help us out tremendously. And it lets YouTube know to send this video out to other people who may be interested in this content. So thank you to everybody who has shared our channel, who has commented. I love to have a conversation with you down in the comments. It's so fun. But that is going to be it for today. We appreciate you. Thank you again for all your support. I will leave a few videos linked at the end of this one for you to watch until our next upload. And in the meantime, take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.